Hello, I'm Rupert Hoodruff. I'm the founder and chief researcher of Hurun Report. And when I go out recently, I find that, especially with entrepreneurs, we always end up talking about the opportunities brought about by AI, by the life sciences revolution that we're going through, by the whole general digital revolution that we're living through at the moment. And the reason we're talking about it so much is because we want to sort of have an understanding as to what we should be doing to prepare ourselves today. As a business, how should we be transforming our business? For our lifestyle, for even as an investor, and so on. So with that in mind, I've got a list which might just help you, give you an insight as to what's going on in the world of startups and the next wave of startups that we can expect to see. So we do a series called the Hurun Unicorns list. So we search the world for all those startups from the 2000s that are not yet public and that have got a valuation of over $1 billion US. And we managed to find 1,500 of these companies around the world. But we then took it further and we did a Hurun Future Unicorns Index. So we split that into two. We had gazelles, which are those who are most likely to go unicorn within 3 years, and today's list, cheetahs. They're most likely to go unicorn in 5 years. Now, why call it a cheetah? Well, like the animal is the fastest land animal in the world, and yet it can only run for 400 meters. It has to catch its prey within that distance, or today it's going to go hungry. And I suppose, like that animal metaphor, these cheetah companies, they've got to go fast. They've got to they've got to get their patent down. They've got to grab some market share within a certain period, because otherwise they're going to run out of money, run out of energy, and they're probably, like the cheetah, going to go hungry for the time. So with that in mind, let's see where are the world's most exciting, say, cheetah companies, startup ecosystems, what industries are they doing, and what other trends are generally worth your attention. So overall, we managed to find 930 or so, sort of future unicorn cheetahs in the world. That's up 25% on last year, which is pretty rampant, if you ask me. We got 180 more numbers than last year. Where are they based? Well, it's the US and China. They are the big two in the world, and pretty much they run throughout the whole Hurun Unicorn series as being the big two, with 70% of all the Hurun Future Unicorn cheetahs, but also pretty much the same percentage at unicorn and at gazelle level as well. So despite only having 25% of the population in the US and of the world's population, US and China that is, and only 40-something% of world GDP, they have 70% of the most likely of the pipeline, if you like, of unicorns in the world. And that's something that is definitely worth being aware of. Number 3 is India, which is growing super fast at the moment. We found 52 cheetahs in the world. Number 4 is the UK, where I come from, which has actually been doing surprisingly well, is always been, whether it's for future unicorn cheetahs or future unicorn gazelles or even unicorns, it's pretty much number 3 or 4 in the world in each case. If we drill down a little bit further, which of these cities in the world have the sort of most exciting future unicorn startup ecosystems? And it's very important, this, because it's infectious, this sort of entrepreneurism. If you've got lots of role model entrepreneurs around, and you've got big companies around, and you've got a bunch of very exciting, dynamic young talent around, then that's going to create a lot of new businesses. Well, Shanghai is number 1 in the world, ahead of San Francisco, believe it or not, followed by Beijing, followed by London, Bangalore, Singapore, Paris, and so on and so forth, these other cities that are doing so well. Now, when you make it to the Hurun Future Unicorn Cheetahs list, maybe you're terribly excited, you've done extremely well, congratulations. But sooner or later, you're going to have to graduate from this list. You're going to first ideally graduate to become a gazelle, and then graduate to become a unicorn, and then graduate to become a listed company. I suppose if you get into a brilliant university like Oxford or my university, Durham, I don't know, probably Harvard, Stanford, and so on. So let's say that you've made it to our list. You're one of the 2024 Hurun Future Unicorns cheetahs. Many congratulations, but sooner or later you're going to have to graduate from this list. You're going to have to graduate ideally first to become a gazelle, then a unicorn, and then hopefully a listed company. So in the same way that if you get into one of the world's best universities, everybody go, wow, congratulations. But if you haven't graduated from that university with your undergraduate degree, let's say 5, 6, 7 years later, people are going to start scratching their heads and going like, what's going on here? And in the same way, it's with these cheetah companies. So sooner or later, they will have to graduate. So we looked at this year's list. We had 103 that were demoted, that we no longer felt were going to make it to unicorn status. We had almost 400 new faces, and we had 110 or so of last year's cohort which got promoted. And 17 went straight up to unicorn, and we had a humanoid robotics company in California called Figure AI, which has now gone straight to a unicorn status, worth about just under $3 billion US. We have a Beijing-based Space Pioneer company, it's actually called Space Pioneer, which again went straight up to unicorn. 70 odd of these future unicorn cheetahs from last year, they went up to gazelles. Many congratulations to them. We had about 10 that went straight up to IPO, and they skipped the unicorn and future unicorn and gazelle levels. There's one in Suzhou which does new materials called Camatech, and started in 2009. It went straight to 4.1 billion. So obviously last year we slightly underestimated them. Now another topic, of course, which is really important, is what is it that these Hurun future unicorn cheetahs are actually doing? Which sectors are they in? This might give you some idea as to which of the sectors are basically the pipeline for the unicorns of the future. And without a shadow of a doubt, it's healthcare. So biotech and health tech, they are the biggies this year. Followed by AI, obviously another biggie, fintech, enterprise services, and so on and so forth. So there you have it. It's a very brief overview. And I'd like to say thank you to our partner, the Guangzhou City Nansha District, where we're going to be hosting our Hurun Global Future Unicorn Cheetah list, and bringing a lot of these, especially from China, together into one room, and bringing them together with the investors. And I hope also with those sort of big companies that are going to be able to help them grow. Because when we do a list like this, one of the objectives is to help these sort of startups think bigger, grow faster, and grow further. So thank you very much for watching, and perhaps this time next year, you and your company will be on our list. Thank you. Bye-bye.